waffle with chicken on top, and then it's they pour tear gas on it, and then they set it on fire.
Is that better, clowns? Am I back?
Oh my God! Now it sounds like you're talking through your grandmother's pussy.
You are
sorry,
tired.
I'm sorry. I'm hangry and I'm tired. I haven't had any sugar or bread.
Wow.
If it was illegal to say stupid things into a microphone,
why must you be so stupid?
These guys would be doing life without parole.
Hey, everybody, we're back from prison.
Why do we keep encouraging this kind of behavior? It's the Breaking the Ice podcast with Josh Dolan.
You know, we could, go to jail for this.
Along with Mike Shue and Isaiah Moskahana Bonsa Monablitz Boskowitz, whatever the hell his name is.
I'm so tired, Josh.
Are you? Me too.
Yeah. How are you? How are you sleeping these days? You getting any?
I'm not getting any, and I'm not sleeping.
Well, you got a kid now, so don't expect a lot of any of that.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Either, really, for the rest of your life.
Oh, I've been told. The sleep wasn't bad at all. I just haven't slept this week just because it's been an awful week. But yeah, I'm exhausted. I mean, it's nothing like that first couple weeks when we first brought the baby home and we were doing 2-hour shifts. Like, you watch her for 2 hours and then I'll nap. That the 2 hours don't matter. I need marathon sleep.
Right. Well, you got to get it when you can. I mean, are you sleeping when Claire's sleeping?
I do in the morning because Laura's back to work now.
Right.
So I have her all at the beginning of the day, and then around 4 o'clock, that's when I can start work. And after her first bottle, she takes like an hour nap, and I look forward to her finishing that bottle so hard.
Right? Yeah.
I'm like, chug it. I want to go back to sleep.
A routine is starting, right? I remember when Chloe was a baby in the high chair. And so when I went back to work, or Francoise went back to work, I was working nights, the 7 to midnight shift. I get home at 2 a.m. just in time to feed her and then get some sleep. And then Francoise would leave at 9. And then, so I would get up and go and hang with her.
Yeah.
And then it was the same thing. We'd sit and I'd put her in her high chair and feed her lunch. And then I would put on Dave Brubeck's Take 5. And by the third track, Strange Meadowlark, she'd be out like a light, slumped over like an old drunk man at a dive bar, just face down.
Wait, like your dad?
Yeah. She had good form. Face down on the tray.
We also have a similar routine, except I'm the one that's face down. And she listens to Smokey. So that's her favorite artist.
Smokey Robinson. Oh, that's nice.
Is there another Smokey?
That's good. Well, I don't know. Who knows? There's,
You never know with the fucking millennials. Oh.
Yeah. Well, you just got to get that sleep when you can, brother.
Yeah.
Because
Josh has been doing good. I got a chance to do a little Zoom time with the lovely, and she was wonderful. She was kind of giving me that eye, like, who are you?
She's very judgy.
That's okay.
She has
because
she's judgiest eyes.
Well, because she's got you as a father, and she's got the judgy for mommy in her veins.
Like, she lets me know when I'm bombing too, because I love making her smile, and I'm trying to get that first giggle out of her. And
she's like,
she'll smile at most things, but when I start bombing, she's not afraid to just be like, "What are you doing?"
She gives that look like an old Chinese woman.
Yes.
What I mean? Just staring at you blankly. Kind of has that judging look, like, why do you exist?
That or Mike, any program director we ever worked for in our 30+ years.
Dave Douglas. Dave Douglas. No, Dave Douglas. I got along with Dave Douglas, and Dave Douglas I like Dave Douglas. He was a good guy. Opie and Anthony called him Dave Dickless.
Yep.
He was a tough boss.
Tough sell.
He had a stoic face. So you'd be pitching him, and my interview, I'd be saying, "Oh, okay, I've done this and this, and I think I can bring this to the table, and blah blah." And it was just like it was just like like that.
Yeah,
no expression whatsoever. no expression whatsoever. And
just like a
radio
cat.
people, radio silence is awful. So you're like, I'm trying to make this fucker. Can you imagine trying to pitch Lorne Michaels?
I know, right? Yeah. I
You
mean, the guy
always hear
who's-
horror stories about pitching him. I was just watching a bunch of Howard Stern bullshit on Facebook, and they were talking to, Dana Carvey and all these people, and David Spade's got a new show, and all of them talk about having to pitch him. I think they were also talking to the cat that started Jackass when he was offered 3 minutes on Saturday Night Live, and pitching and being in front of Lorne Michaels seems to be like going to Gandhi.
Or
well,
Dr. Evil.
The guy's seen it. He's seen it and heard it and
All
done
of
it
it.
all. And he's the smartest guy in the room. So
and he's behind the Tonight Show, and he's behind what Seth Meyers is doing, and how many other fingerprints does he have on comedy? So yeah, I can imagine. I had a couple of program directors that were the same way, but they were just fucking stupid. Dave Douglas was not. He was good.
Is that me? All that noise?
Oh, you know what? It's probably me. I had the fan on. I'm
Because
sorry.
I got my windows open.
I also have my air conditioning on the car as I'm driving. So I'm not. If this blur is giving people fucking vertigo, I apologize.
Oh, you're in a car.
I'm driving to get my cocaine.
Okay.
You don't need any more.
You look like you look like you're in like some kind of like ball of ectoplasm.
Josh said I was in some documentary.
Looks like that's just a documentary shot. You're driving around the town and you're like, that's where we used to,
This is where I used to do cocaine. I mean, this is where I used to, I don't remember.
I broke into that house.
Wait a minute.
Now, is that just straight vodka, Shoe? Maybe that's why you're tired.
Oh yeah. Well, I am not drinking.
No, neither am I. I stopped for a day.
I've stopped drinking. And I've stopped eating all sugar and carbs because
Are you doing the whole 30?
I'm doing the Awaken 180.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Are they a sponsor on the Pike?
Yes. I think I can say that now.
They will be if Shoe completes the task.
Well, yeah, that's right.
You can, because listen, Awaken 180.
Right?
Awaken 180 is solid. They're all over the fucking place, and they there were a few different weight loss companies when I was back selling AAF and EEI back in the day, and not even that today, 6-7 years ago. And those things now, Awaken 180 stayed the course, and there's a shit load of people that are doing that. So it's good you're doing it. It's good you're doing that.
It's mostly food based. There's no chemicals involved. There's no pills.
Nope.
So, and it's a low carb diet. So I got to lose 20 pounds.
Nice.
And they think I can do it in 6 weeks.
Sure.
And that's another thing. They're not like hardcore on your goal. It's like, hey, you don't do it, then we'll just, we'll keep going. We'll make it happen. And they're pretty laid back, and they're very nice. I met with a couple of people. They're super nice people, and
right.
But it's a good time because I just did the Worcester hot dog safari, so I was eating
Jesus Christ, you
I
ate
didn't even know that was a
90,000
thing.
fucking calories.
right. I was eating
sitting.
like a bunch of hot dogs like every day.
Those are bad.
I had one. There's this place. This is a food truck in West Boylston called Stumpy's.
Yep.
And I got 2 from there. One was called the Texan. It was shaved grilled steak on top of your hot dog with coleslaw. And that was wonderful. And then they had one called the TNT dog. So they took a hot dog and they slathered it in cream cheese and jalapenos, and they wrapped it in an egg roll wrapper and deep fried it.
Dear
That's
Awaken 180.
That's the one. That's the one that was the winner.
But when you start adding all that stuff to a hot dog, is it still a hot dog, or is it just a sub that happens to have a hot dog in it?
No, that's the whole thing about the hot dog safari. It's like each place that's taking part in the hot dog safari is trying to outdo each other.
Well, there's a hot dog, and then there's clearly a safari around each one. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Well, another great one was Burt's in Uxbridge, and they had.
Oh, I know. I play in a golf tournament out there every year. That's a fucking great place.
That's a nice little spot. It's a great little like old school diner.
Yep.
But their hot dog, I had 2 hot dogs there. The first one was the Thanksgiving dog, and what they did was they laid.
God, that sounds great.
They laid stuffing down in the bun and the dog on top of that, and then they put a cranberry aioli on the dog, and then they sprinkled the French fried onions that they put on the green bean casserole on top of that. That was really good. But
you were asleep in 30 seconds after
the
2
most
bites.
interesting one was their French toast dog.
Oh my
So
God.
they took the hot dog bun and they made it like French toast. So they put it in egg and everything. So the bun was basically French toast. And then they put a blueberry compote on the bottom of the bun and laid the hot dog on top of that.
Sure, why not?
Then they put maple syrup on it and then crumbled bacon.
I'm having a hard time doing this math in my head.
Right. No, you know what? It sounds awful. It sounds awful and it looks terrible on paper, but it worked.
Taste.
It totally worked because you get that sweet blueberry compote and the maple syrup. And then who doesn't like maple syrup? I don't know. Maybe you don't, Josh.
He's gonna say he's never had maple syrup. Don't.
Like when you're having pancakes and you have sausage, I dip my sausage in maple syrup, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's good. So this is like same thing. It's a grilled hot dog with maple syrup on it. It's not like a breakfast sausage, but it worked. I looked at it on the board and I was like, this is wrong. This is wrong. And I think I'm not going to do this anymore, but I ate it and it was wonderful.
That's like what happened to me with chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
That always just sounded disgusting to me, and I'm not from the South, so I never tried it. But then, as soon as I think I had it at Chili's, and I became obsessed with chicken and waffles.
Yeah, with honey. I like mine with honey.
Oh,
that's weird that your first experience was at Chili's, though.
That's the only place that served it.
That's true. Not a lot of places serve it up here. Or there's
a place in Southie I cannot.
Is that Gaelic, Isaiah? Because
it
sounds like Gaelic. It's in Southie. It must be Gaelic. It's in Hasafrek. They take a piece of fried chicken and they put it on a waffle and then they beat it with a billy club. And then until it becomes Catholic, right? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Right.
Isaiah sounds like I was picture looks now.
You're frozen, Isaiah, so that's why we're still talking. I'm just trying to complete your sentence here.
He's 10 minutes into his story. He's still talking.
Thank you. I'm fine. Fuck off.
He went through a dead intersection.
It's a waffle with chicken on top, and then it's they pour tear gas on it. And then they set it on fire.
Is that better, clowns? Am I back?
Oh my God! Now it sounds like you're talking through your grandmother's pussy.
You are tired.
I'm sorry. I'm hangry and I'm tired. I haven't had any sugar or bread or pasta. You know,
like just straight with the
or fruit, man. I can't even eat fruit. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing.
That's high in carbs.
Well, yeah, it's high in sugar. It totally makes sense. But I'd gotten to the point in my life where I was like eating, chips and ding dongs and all that shit all day.
Yeah, that's the Josh Dolan diet.
Yeah, right. And I finally got to the point where I was substituting all of that. Well, in between all those pictures, I was eating pretty well. I was eating like salad and stuff, but I got to the habit of snacking throughout the day on like nuts and fruit, right? So I finally get to this healthy habit, and then I go to Awaken 180 and like, well, you can't eat any nuts or any fruit. I'm like, oh my God.
You mean be healthy?
Wait, why not?
So what? I hate when they're like cut out all sugar, all fruits, vegetables, and I'm like, water is left.
Well, no, I can eat vegetables, but I can't eat like carrots because those have sugar in it.
Do they really?
Yeah, that's fucked up. Carrots are part of a diet. Really?
No, carrots are good, but they have to lose weight. If I want to lose that weight in 6 weeks, you just got to cut out
the initial part.
Right, you got to cut out all the sugar, and that includes sugar in root vegetables too. Even though carrots are really good for you, they have a sugar in them.
So there's probably a bunch of fucking sugar in apples too.
Oh yeah, all fruit has natural sugar in it. That's why it's delicious. Like I love. Let me tell you, fucking my wife. All right, let me fucking tell you about this. All right,
what's this shit?
So second night into this, and I'm struggling. Because it's the first couple weeks are always hard.
It's like stopping drinking. It's awful.
Right, exactly. Except for me, instead of alcohol, it's just food. So, so she comes in. I'm up here, and she comes in with this big plate, and she goes, "Oh, I got this really good watermelon." I'm like, "I can't eat any fruit. I told you that. Like we talked about this." She's like, "Oh yeah," and then she sets it down and leaves.
Oh,
And I was like,
leave the cocaine with a razor blade, why don't you?
No, I was like, can you get this the fuck out of here? I was like, really?
Hey,
it was
you know
like right
what?
there. It was arm's length, And I was just like, are you kidding me? Get that shit away from me. Okay.
That's karma.
Wow.
Why is that karma?
Because when I was doing the Whole 30, the amount of food that came into the WAF studio and I had to watch.
Whose fault was that?
You.
Whose fault? No.
You were the fucking host.
Those were food drops. That was business, Josh. We had to do business, and that was
the
part
first
of business.
and last time I ever saw a buffalo wing pizza.
Oh, that was amazing. What was the name of that place? Was that in Cambridge?
Where'd you get that?
I forget. I was trying to shut my brain. Yeah, it was in Cambridge.
They called it the Abomination.
Yes.
And it was like a big.
That's a beautiful name.
It was like one of those flatbread crust pizzas. Beautiful, and then like mozzarella and sauce, and then it had arugula, and then they just dumped a pile of wings on top of it. It was buffalo wings and garlic wings, and they just dumped a pile on there, and that was the pizza. They made it especially because it was Super Bowl Sunday coming up. I remember. Who's the guy?
And Josh was on a diet.
Was it JP? Was that his name? The guy's name was JP. He knew all these people at restaurants. He was constantly hooking us up. The guy with like the 6-foot sub.
Yes, that also came in during then. I couldn't have any like that. That was the most food. I feel like there was like maybe.
Were you on a diet too at that point?
He was doing, what was it called again?
I was doing the Whole 30 because my wife told me that I agreed to do it. And
I was going to say, hold on, let's zoom in on why. Because you're like this fucking big soaking wet, and you did it because mommy told you to. And then you couldn't eat fucking chicken wings.
Well, Isaiah, some people just blow it up and get fat like me. Josh, instead of getting fat, his organs just start to liquefy.
True. He's thin. His metabolism is good, and the food starts to eat his organs.
Right. All the sugar and
And his wife recognized when his eye was fluttering. She's like, "You got to stop, or you'll be dead because our kid's coming."
I eat like a 12-year-old. So
yeah.
You do. I remember when I first met Josh. We were just doing different fucking creative bits and having fun and doing all sorts of shit. And he would just tell me, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go. If I could just eat a whole pizza." I'm like, "All right, that's cool."
Yeah,
I ate a whole fucking every day, the shit, and I didn't pick up on it until I was like, "This kid's a fucking symbol. What the fuck are you talking about?" He's, "Oh, whole pizza, whole bucket of fuck. Where the fuck's the fat?" At some point, your organs probably go, "Well, we're just gonna start working on your fucking kidney, your liver, and your heart."
Yeah, your kidneys end up being like Ned Flanders' kids. Like, it's like. Oh, I believe it. Every time you say "damn," an angel cries. Your kidneys just become just dumb kids. Like wandering toddlers.
Oh, there's no way my insides look good right now, and
none of ours do. And good for you, Mike. You're doing that. But she and I started to do a little weight loss from the beginning of the year, down 16 pounds. But what month are we in? September. It's taken that long.
Right,
we didn't want to go. It's
unhealthy if you lose it too fast. It's unhealthy. That hurts you.
But what the program you're doing, I don't disagree with it because it's almost like a shock, boom, and then maintain.
Right.
So we both are not afraid of booze, shocking, and we like good food, but we'll eat good. But the point is, I'm down 16, she's down 10. That started in January. It's almost fucking September. So it took time, but at the end of the day, I go to my next physical, I'm down almost 20 pounds. My doctor's going to be like, "Is it blow? What are you doing?" I'm like, "No, I actually just stopped fucking eating everything in sight." So you're going to have to show the people at that weight loss place your Instagram, because dude, there's so much.
Oh, they know.
Food
they know. Oh no, I prepared them. Yeah, I mean, I met
with like, it looks like I'm 900 pounds.
Right, and everybody says that. They were like, "Oh my God, how come you're not 300 pounds?" It's because in between posting those pictures, I was actually eating pretty smart. But
that makes you a better spokesman because you can be like, what I eat, and it worked for me.
Well, that's the challenge of this, is to explain like how I went from eating a French toast fucking hot dog to
drink some water and have a
exactly, and like beer too. Like, I mean, the day before,
you're a big fan of beer.
Sunday, I went to the liquor store, and that's the one I used to work at. And the guy that runs the place, every time he gets these new beers in, like samples, he gives them to me. He goes, "Drink these. Tell me what you think. Should we carry this?" I'm like, "Okay." And so he gave me like 12. And so Sunday, the day before I started, and I'm like, and I couldn't really say no.
I gotta finish
it would be rude to say
I
no.
should have said no.
Who would you be?
So I'm telling you that weekend, this past weekend before I started, I was just like, okay, I'm going on this diet Monday. It's like that junkie. He was like, I'm going to rehab. I'm just going to do a huge friggin' thing of, just take a giant dose before I go to and that's what I did. Hot dog safari into brisket sandwiches and, lo mein, everything, pastas, everything, sandwiches,
but
just loaded up beers,
smart,
wine,
though.
scotch, and then Monday rolled around and it was just like, oh my God. And at the end of Monday, I was like, this is going to be a lot harder. A lot harder than I thought it would be.
Because doing that, like, really, like, if I know I'm going to be, like, not drinking for, like, a month or, like, when...
Or a day.
Or when, like, when my wife was in the third trimester, I didn't drink. And I told her, like, starting, like, tomorrow or, like, no, I said in a week, I just went hard because I know if I hurt myself, I'll feel better about feeling good.
Right. You'll be like, oh, I got to take a break.
And me and my wife call it... sometimes we drink, or when we were younger, we used to drink so much that the next day we would call it our charity work feeling, where we just drank so much and got so dismantled that we felt like the next day to make up for it, we needed to go volunteer and do charity work.
Jesus Christ.
Hey,
but those days are over.
That's a nice segue for you, Josh. You
sound like you're on the moon landing.
We had Peter Kelleher on. Is it bad?
It's pretty bad. It's the worst it's ever been.
Do I need to move my car?
It's stuttery. Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Why did you drive somewhere else if you're just gonna park?
Plus there's a delay between the audio and the video. So when you say something, your mouth moves like a whole 30 seconds later.
Like I'm blowing a horse?
Drive back to where you were.
I was going somewhere, but I stopped to do this nonsense. All right, hold on.
Oh my God.
Eat a dick. You two talk.
All right. Well, while you're finding a new parking spot, I'm gonna ruin the mood for a second. Just because I wanted to. We don't have a guest this week. And I had planned on having a guest both weeks, this week and next week. But one of the you know what? I might not get through it, but one of the guests we were going to have on was former Bruin Jimmy Hayes, who obviously passed away, and I feel ridiculous for it hurting this bad. Like, I've had family members die like not too long ago, and I don't know, like, we were acquaintances, but I'm surprised it's hit me this hard because we didn't know each other that well, but like we would talk every once in a while, even since he was gone from the Bruins. And I was talking to him about doing this podcast this week or next week and doing the golf tournament that Isaiah was about to bring up. He was talking about doing that.
Yep. And
just want to send out a
positive vibes.
Yeah. Jimmy had a baby boy a couple weeks before Claire was born, and I feel like it's also scary too because I feel like me and Jimmy, the first time I met him in the AF studio, LB, like after he was on the morning show and I had him do liners and stuff, and me and Jimmy filmed a couple videos, and then LB came in the back and he started giving Jimmy Hayes a pep talk about not getting married, don't have kids. He was like, you got a hockey career to think about it. And then
if anybody knows about those two things, that's LB.
Oh, boy.
And he was just like, it's going to ruin you. He didn't mention alcohol, but he said these things will ruin your career.
That's probably because he was drunk. That's why he forgot.
No way.
Yeah. And so he
told him to move his hand when he was grabbing a beer out of the fridge.
Yeah, so LB was giving Jimmy Hayes this long pep talk about like what not to do. And then all of a sudden LB turned to me and he's like, and you have a comedy career to think about. And he gave me the same pep talk, and me and Jimmy Hayes were both just like looking at each other like,
Yeah, no.
and then a few months later, Jimmy Hayes got engaged, and then I got engaged, and then he got married like a few months before I did, and then him and his wife ended up getting a dog right before we got a dog. So I've just been copying him my whole life, and and he had a baby, and then I had a baby a few weeks later.
Is this a race?
I was going to say,
it sounded like both of you were like, both of you were in the race of life, right? And you're just like, I mean, I'm sorry.
And he was winning.
Poor choice of words, because of his passing, but
no.
It just seems like he had a baby, I had a baby, I got a dog, but then he got a dog. It's like, oh, they're neck and neck.
Hold on.
No,
Mike,
he always did something like a few months before, and he was just and then when I went to EEI and I was the Bruins beat reporter, he was like the first guy that like came up to me in the locker room, and he was just always him. I kind of stuck to like this one group of players, him, Frank Vetrano, Brandon Carlo, and Brad Marchand, and they like those were
Never heard of him.
I don't know if he's still playing.
He might have
be
a
playing in
Stanley Cup
Europe or
tattoo on his ass. Wait. I don't think Josh had done this movie, but Mike, that sounds like single white female.
Yes.
I mean,
What?
think about that.
Yeah.
I said you wouldn't know the movie.
I don't know the movie, but he
White
he
female.
wasn't. He probably wasn't born when the movie came out.
This is why I went to the elder statesman here.
Yeah, thanks.
Single
the old
white-
guy. You can say old guy.
Old guys.
Old
I'm your
guy.
age.
Yeah.
Well, you're older than I am. Single white female over there.
Right.
Jimmy Hayes style. Oof.
Wow.
Listen, that's an
I gotta look
homage.
this up because I don't know if you're insulting me or
No. It's a very similar story to what you just told.
There's
It
someone
was like,
that duplicates.
yeah,
They just
someone
they
well, in this case, it was someone who wanted to actually take her identity, right? Like, so she started dressing like her and cutting her hair like her, and then doing the same things, and then going
Hanging
after
out
her
with her.
boyfriend, right, and stuff like
Yep.
that, or something. And yeah,
So I'm thinking that's an homage to Mr. Hayes that you just wanted to be him.
I did. It just a Boston kid
that's a
playing
good
for the
thing.
Bruins.
right. Who didn't want to be Jimmy Hayes, right? He grew
Come
up
on.
in the city, and then he ends up playing hockey, going to BC, bringing a championship, and then
Yep.
coming back home and playing for the hometown team.
Yep.
At least he got that before he passed. At least he got that in. The kid
And
from
his-
Dorchester got to play for the Bruins,
Right.
Yeah.
and have
And-
a baby.
And his
get a
podcast was tremendous. I mean,
Oh
such
my
a
God.
I love watching those episodes. They're just dudes that just fucking did their shit and talked about their shit, which we could never have on a radio station. FCC is too busy in the way. These guys would just talk about all the fucked up shit that single dudes in the NHL would do. And I loved it. And Josh turned me on to these guys. And I'm like, and he told me, because he called me. I was out running errands and he called me. He's like, did you hear the news? And I'm like, don't ever start a phone call with, did you hear the news? What the fuck? First thing I think
Right.
about is his daughter or his wife or like all of our small circle. Like, don't tell me Shoe fucking did something dumb. What happened? And then he told me, I'm like, oh, fuck. That's awful. And I didn't really know what to say. And it just hit because I looked on it, social media, and it was everywhere. And yeah.
Have they determined the cause of death yet? Because the last I saw, it was still nothing. They didn't know.
They
No, I
did an
had
autopsy and
and they said it was undetermined, which is kind of.
And the hard thing with
That's kinda
is
strange.
somebody who's 31 and healthy. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and this is hard, but like, you're looking at possible like brain like things that happen like that.
That's true.
That you
That's
can't
true.
even predict. Like
Yeah.
heart attacks, brain aneurysms, thing like that. Just go, it's your time. Because if this kid was healthy and he didn't have any addiction issues and he didn't have any depression
and he was
issues,
fine the night before too, because when my wife told
his
me
Instagram story was still live.
yeah, it was still up, and like she came home. Well, she was working when she saw that. She was like, "Oh my God, what kind of condition is Josh in?" And I was just
Right.
playing with the baby, and she said that, and I was like, "No, you got that wrong." And I'm still like I didn't know how to like. I didn't know what to do. I was just paralyzed. And then I looked up his name and I saw today's date on his Wikipedia and died next to it. And I just threw the phone, and I've just been in denial ever since, because I keep like, I was rewatching the last podcast he did, which was last week. And I was just like staring at him like, what is going on inside your body right now that they couldn't find, that
That's
you're
where
just
you
not
have to
here
go,
anymore.
That's where you have to go to instantaneous things like brain aneurysms, because a friend of mine had one of those, and you're skipping along through life like nothing's wrong. And that happens, you're done. You're done or you're down. Now, he survived, but I'm not a neurologist.
Wouldn't they be able to find that by now, though?
When the way
show
my
up in an
friend
autopsy, like that's how they tell like brain aneurysm or like a heart attack.
Maybe, but brain aneurysm is like an immediate bleed in the brain. So maybe, but that's weird that there's nothing, because the only thing I was thinking was instantaneous. But you're exactly right, guys. How is that not detected in a full autopsy? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. But and like I was saying, I just did everything right after him. So I'm also gonna try and get healthy, because now I'm just like, it scared the shit out of me. Where I'm like,
don't.
I mean,
I don't want to diminish your goals. But was Jimmy Hayes not a healthy man? Was he still playing?
Was.
He had just retired.
Okay, so
during
he just
COVID.
retired. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe like his body was used to something at such a pace or whatever.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I'm just saying that you're like, I got to get healthy, but it's.
I'm not gonna, but I mean,
no, but I'm just saying, like, there's
wanted to.
The Jim Fixx story. You know, the guy ran marathons. He wrote several books on running, and he died of a heart attack.
Right.
You know, so it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds, and I'm gonna clean up my diet, and I'm gonna discipline myself to be healthier. But you know, the same thing with Jimmy Hayes. I mean, relatively healthy guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, professional athlete. None of it makes sense, and it's still like, I've never been this in denial about death or like emotional. Like normally when I hear like even family members or like other people I know, but that was like an instant, like I was just in the fetal position. And maybe because I was just talking to him like a few days ago, and it was like, it's still on my to-do list from that day, follow up with Jimmy Hayes. And
there's no question. There's no question. The total shock. And we've got a few minutes on you, and I've dealt with the death of two parents, and Mike's dealt with death, and people, you know, think about the things that have gone on. Let's just look at your life over the past year. Things were different. You just had a baby. There's a lot of emotion there. You look at, and then you're talking to a friend who's.
But our babies are the same age too. I think that
whole thing, true, because you probably weren't thinking about that, but then when it happens, you're like, oh, what the fuck? And that's that. And those are the things. That's where people really need to not discount mental health problems. They need to not discount how fucked up people can be from things like this, because it can take you from okay to I'm not okay anymore. I'm not okay anymore because I had a bunch of shit rattling around in my head. And I know I went through that after my mother passed away. And I definitely went through it after my dad passed away. And I had to deal with a bunch of fucking crazy shit that my birth mother pulled. And it fucking adds up. And if you don't address it, handle it, pull the fucking cord and let, shit leak, it's fucked up. And you just had a baby. Jesus Christ. I mean, we've all been through things that just whack you in the head like a fucking 2x4. I don't think anything's been normal. We're doing a fucking podcast on a goddamn fucking Zoom call because we can't get together because of some fucking disease for a year and a half. That's fucked up. We all worked at a radio station we adored forever. That thing got plugged in the head, and all the other dumb shit that we've dealt with for the past year and a half. And then you have a friend die.
Yeah.
How the fuck are you supposed to react? I wouldn't doubt if you were in the fetal position for a week going, what?
I've just been so like, I've just been like everything. I'm just like, I'm not in the mood. Like I didn't even want to book a guest because I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, that fourth square looks really good today. Thanks for coming on the show, Black Square.
But like I've never been like that much in denial where I guess I have been. It's just fresh right now. But where I was watching his podcast earlier and I was just like, this doesn't make sense. And then I kept thinking like, well, I'll just ask him on the podcast how it happened. Like what happened?
Yeah, Mike's taking a call. This can't be good.
No,
something happened.
Oh God, this is just a negative cast today.
No, it's not. No, we're gonna make it positive because I'm gonna segue into. You had asked Jimmy to be part of the Support the Suit Man.
Golf.
And do you know the updates of how many people are actually showing up now thanks to your efforts?
I do not.
Jackie Flynn. Huge.
Yes.
Andrew Raycroft. Huge. I just did a little episode of Support the Soup Man Media with him.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Very good. Awesome. Come on, you know him for fucking years, and he was so nice and so courteous and so kind. I'll wait till Mike comes back on this one. Everything all right?
Yeah, everything's fine. That was Bob Hanna, former colleague from
Oh, I just ran into Bob Hanna.
And now professional seafarer. Oh, where'd you run into Bob?
At my wife's work, he was dropping his dog off.
Is that why you asked me for the what the fuck Bob Hanna
Yes.
video?
I wanted.
Yes. That was him just calling to say hi. I said I was trying to get him to come on with us, but he didn't want to do it because he was driving. He said he'd be too distracted.
Isaiah's doing it.
I parked.
Exactly.
I parked. I was just saying, Mike. I was saying we're kind of segueing from Jimmy, not pull away, but what Josh has been helping me with. One of the folks I work with, and you know, Peter Kelleher, Support the Soup Man, supportthesoupman.org, the whole piece about helping the homeless. So I got with Josh a few months ago, and I'm like, let's take advantage of this as far as getting the people that we know to come out and support. So Josh got me in touch with our friend Jackie Flynn, and Jackie Flynn's going to fly out from LA. He's an avid golfer. So he's going to play in the Support the Soup Man Golf is on September 9th at Brook Meadow Country Club. And all the details are at supportthesoupmangolf.com. But Jackie Flynn's coming out.
Hopefully he doesn't make a scene like he did on the golf course in Loudermill.
I was going to say, is he bringing like Will Sasso with him? And
I'm hoping.
Ron Livingston and
new guy,
film an episode.
New guy coming, new guy.
Let's film an episode. Exactly. But also
new guys coming in a wagon like Laura Ingalls.
Laura Ingalls. They called me Laura Ingalls for 2 months. I love that.
Andrew Raycroft. Thank you, Josh. Andrew Raycroft is joining us. Yeah, I do a little series much shorter than these called Support the Soup Man Media, where I thank the sponsors and the people that got involved. So Andrew came on that last week and was awesome.
Can people find that online?
They can. Yeah, if you go to supportthesoupman.org, supportthesoupman.org, you can find out anything about the whole organization, what the Kraft Foundation has done, what we've done nationally and regionally and locally. And if you click the YouTube link on there, it drops down to all the series that I've done. So Andrew's going to be on there. Jackie's going to be on next week. Also found out today that one of the Wahlbergs, I didn't realize there were 67 Wahlbergs. I thought it was Mark and Donnie and like one other one.
Yeah, they're like Kennedys. They're everywhere.
There are so many of them. But one of the older ones, not Paul, the cook, but one above that, he's going to join us. And he knows Lenny Clark, obviously. I asked Lenny to play. I think Lenny's going to play. And also, who the fuck was the boxer? Work with me.
Mickey Ward?
Yes, Mickey Ward's coming up.
Ah, such a nice guy. Such a nice guy.
Yes. So thank you, Josh. Josh.
I was going to say Dickie Eklund.
Dickie Eklund. That'd be awesome too.
Right. But now it's Thursday, September 9th. So Josh is going to come out and you're bringing. You're on the air in the morning.
But I think
confirm it.
I'm not the one that has to confirm. I'm waiting for the confirmation.
We just made it real. Now, Mike, you're on the radio that day. Are you anywhere near Canton, Mass?
No, not at all.
Okay.
That's a real pain in the ass to get to from where I am.
Nobody's near Canton.
Is there what day is this? Like what day of the week is this?
Thursday, September 9th.
I could
like once you finish the show.
Oh wait, September 9th? Yes.
Yeah.
I won't be any fun though, because I won't be drinking or eating anything.
That's okay.
I'll do that with you.
But you can smoke.
Except I might have a buffalo wing pizza that day and eat it in front of you.
Just by yourself? You fuck. You lousy
What if we
fuck.
what if we set up a couple of fucking disc golf holes for you?
Yeah, sure. Get a couple of baskets out there and a lot of arugula and water.
Yes.
And,
hey,
it'll be a party. Yeah.
Listen, I support what you're doing. It's not easy. I fucking and you're not drinking at all, so there's lots of sugar and booze.
Yeah. You know what? I hadn't been drinking like I had been. My drinking has gone down, thankfully.
Mine has skyrocketed.
And the weed has gone up?
A little bit. A little bit. But I'm learning a lot about controlling by the strains and things like that, and take what I need when I need
More
it.
sativa?
Depends.
Yeah.
Depends what the situation is or whoever has whatever.
Right. Depends on what traffic I'm in and who I want to fucking stab because I haven't drank or eaten a fucking piece of sugar in a month.
Well, if it starts in the morning, right? So I can leave like right after I'm done and get out there by noon at probably the latest. You guys gonna have like a lunch break or anything like that?
Yeah. No, there's a whole thing. It starts. It's like an 8:30 shotgun, so people will be done by 1, 2 o'clock. We'll have a little post thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I told Josh, I said, if you want to bring out the Breaking the Ice podcast stuff, we could do an episode from there. Obviously, Josh knows. I mean, he was responsible for getting Jackie there and Andrew there. And that spun over into a few others. So I mean, first of all, thank you, Josh.
If you guys want to do that, I mean, Josh, do you have a Roadcaster?
I don't.
I can bring mine. It's so easy. It's made for traveling. It's made
is it really?
For going on. Yeah, that's what its specific purpose is. It's mobile.
Oh, we have I'll bring my mics.
Do we have 3 or 4 mics?
I've got let's see, I got 2 mics.
And I have 2.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Do we have any like backdrop Breaking the Ice shit?
Oh yeah, we've had shims and banners and fireworks and hookers and lions.
No, we don't.
And friggin' trans.
We have fucking stickers and a $90 sweatshirt.
We have a Sprinter van that's wrapped.
We have a fucking blimp. And
Mike, Josh
not a real blimp. It's one of the ones that's at minor league hockey games that drops the coupons.
Right. I stole it from the Railers. So
Jesus Christ.
It used to belong to the Ice Cats, but
it has an ice cat on the side, but don't pay attention to any of that shit.
Mike, you and I haven't seen a dollar, but we have a Sprinter wrap. This is good to know.
Yeah, we got a Sprinter wrap. That's awesome. We also have a rock van. We have a rock van.
Remember when radio only paid? Remember when radio only paid like $13,000? I'll go back to that at this point.
You made $13,000 in radio? I never got there.
Oh, dude, that was my first full-time gig.
Mine too.
$13,000 I was lucky because
overnights.
Right, it's exactly what it was. Overnights and swing guy. Right, so $13,000. And I remember a friend of mine who was trying to get into radio in Myrtle Beach called up and she goes, what are you doing up there? I goes, well, I'm just doing overnights and swing shift and they're paying you full time. I'm like, yeah, benefits, everything. She's like, you fucking suck. That's like when, I don't know, when radio was a little nicer too.
91 probably, right?
That was exactly it. Yeah, it was 90. Actually, it was like 90. Yeah, 91, 90, 92, 93.
I was excited about the first part-time gig that was just weekends. And that was, whatever, because it was tough because it was 6 to 10 in the morning on Saturday and Sunday. And again, I was never afraid of booze. And especially because all of a sudden you're going out with a station jacket on and you're hosting shows and you're getting all fucked up. And then I did beach reports. Hold on. That was tough. Get in the van, go to the beach, put the Marty up. Remember the Marty?
Oh, yeah, the Marty.
Hold on. Turn it towards the tower.
Yeah,
we're here at the beach and the fun bags are huge.
Periscope. It was a giant antenna you had to crank up,
and you had to point it towards
and then you had to point it towards the radio station or wherever the tower was. Yeah,
had the little 2-way going. Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2. Oh shit! Did I just say fuck on the radio?
It was like like a shitty science fiction movie. Yeah,
and that wasn't full time, but the program director was like, Isaiah, we'll get you there. Isaiah, and this is also a guy that when I got hired, he didn't want me using the name Isaiah, because the station was WHEB in Portsmouth, and he overthought the Hebrew Jewish name. I'm like,
Isaiah, people don't want to hear Jews on the radio. I don't know if you knew that.
That's a fact.
Was that really what his thinking was? It sounded like you were Jewish, so he didn't want you to use. That's ridiculous.
And how many fucking Isaiahs do you know?
I know. First of all, it's a very uncommon name, which works in radio, right?
Hello.
Yeah.
So he just went with Moskowitz.
But for that reason of him saying, well, it sounds kind of, I mean, that's
idiot,
freaking scary.
Awesome that he hired me, so I was using.
But you're a little too Jewy.
Yeah, apparently, right? And I'm not even Jewish.
I know he's not even Jewish, which is even crazier, right?
But I was using Isaiah Collins the year before my mom passed in '85, and
Collins.
Right. So
you don't want to go full Jew, right?
Full Jew, right?
Isaiah
Moskowitz would be like, whoa.
Yeah, right.
But fucking, so he's like, I'm 21 years old, and he's like, yeah, Isaiah's not going to work. What do you think? I'm like,
I think you have something wrong with you.
But I'm signing this. I'm signing this fucking.
Excuse me.
I'm signing this like $4 contract. Going. How about? But isn't Tom Collins a drink? How about Brian? I literally just said, how about Brian?
Now, did
Brian
that guy
Collins.
ask you where your horns were too? Like what?
Yeah, seriously.
What the fuck?
Right?
And you know, thank God for the
seriously,
morning guy.
that's just
Totally
infuriating.
stupid.
It's
Thank
infuriating.
God, thank God for the morning guy, because I start doing the beach reports, and he's like, Brian Collins. He starts calling me BC. He's like, "Oh, BC's on the
Oh,
beach."
there
So
you
it
go.
was
He
like,
hit the he made it cool.
he tried to do the best he could.
Just
And
because
that's-
Brian Collins is kind of a Magic 106 name.
You think?
You know, hey, it's Brian
Is
Collins.
that
Come on
Brian
out to
with
the
a
dog
Y?
fair. Yeah.
Is that Brian with a Y? It was fucking stupid. And I mean, fast forward all the years later, when Valeri hires me part-time at fucking AAF, in my head, I'm like, so what do you want? I'm still like half conditioned from a fucking 2 decades ago plus going, so what name should I use? He's like, how about Isaiah? I'm like,
Right? He didn't.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, right.
And then Isaiah cracked the mic on the Rock for Change, and the first text that came up said, "Who's the Jew?"
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
And it was the guy in
You
Portsmouth.
can't.
It was the dude in Portsmouth. He's up there, wearing his armband with a swastika on it, and
This
like
is
the-
bad radio.
he's like the guy in the Blues Brothers, the head of the Nazi
Yes.
party, the short dude.
Holy fucking! Remember a time, Mike, when fucking program directors over fucking thought things? Huh? No way.
That was just last year.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God, let me tell you something. And I'm not kissing ass, and I don't want to give away too much, but let's just say it is a 180-degree difference.
Where you are
That's
now.
that's all I'm gonna say.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
So
It's-
you don't drive. Well, you don't have much of a drive now, but you don't drive home punching the steering wheel, or
or my face like I used to. Right. Yeah.
He actually gets to walk home. He goes by
Yeah, I don't
Coney
have-
Island. He gets a hot dog. He stops and sees a Woo Sox
Right.
game, and he goes fucking home.
I get on my bike. Yeah.
now
and-
are you still going to the Woo Sox on this diet? Because I know they have a lot of good food there.
Ooh.
I
He
thought
wants
we
to
were-
stab you right now.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
What?
Oh yeah,
we
well,
got
first-
away
yeah.
from that.
I know that sucks. There's nothing better. My favorite thing at Polar Park is the helmet full of nachos.
Oh God.
It's a souvenir, hard hat. Bad
It's like the
helmet.
ground round with the upside down ice cream things.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they have those too. All right, you
Yep.
want a little
Oh.
sundae? They got the little hats too, but they got the full
Little-
size, and they're really good nachos. They have like
Oh,
that
God.
fresh, that Mexican cheese on the top, and corn, and guac, and it's really, really great. And it's in a helmet, so you eat it, you take the paper out, you throw it away, you put it on your head, and you're like, woo!
Oh, it's that big. It's not like it's like an
a
actual
full size.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
it's not
thinking
one of those-
about
it's not
going
the
to a
little-
game
little
next
Sunday
week.
one.
Can you show me where the nachos are?
No,
You'll see it.
I'll have.
Have you
yours
been to
for
Polar
you.
Park yet?
I'm
Scott?
going to strap myself to
I
my
haven't.
chair so I can't get up. Because I'll just go straight to the nacho guy.
You should take the family out there. It's a great ballpark. Really, really.
Yeah.
I mean, really. Mike could tell you more. I've only been there twice. Absolutely.
It's
gorgeous.
they did a great job. It's a really beautiful park, and it's, Fenway's old, so there's parts of Fenway that are still kind of hard to, when it gets crowded, hard to negotiate. But this is designed differently. It has a Fenway feel, but it's more like
Yes.
It's
really
not a
open.
tear down like
It's
Fenway.
beautiful. Right, that's right. It's beautiful, and the food's there, and they got tons of activities for kids and stuff. They got this new place now. They just finished it called the Berm, and that's basically what it is. It's like, you see some fields, they have grass in the outfield, like in a big, instead of like seats, there's like a lawn out there.
Yeah.
So they have a really kind of like narrow one of those in the back of left field. And
Yeah.
then there's like a playground
Yes.
and a bunch of tables and benches. And then that section has their own little concession area. So there's a beverage thing, an ice cream thing, and then all the hot dog, pizza, whatever thing there. So it's all that. So if you got kids, it's like you can hang out by this little playground, still get concessions and watch and have a beautiful view of the game. And yeah, they did.
So,
a
Okay,
really nice
so there
job
is a
with it.
baseball game happening during all this.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing.
Yes.
That's the thing. The
Yes.
Polar Park very quickly became what Fenway had become, which is like
Right.
one of the most expensive but coolest bars in town.
Right.
I don't think
You
I've
know what
ever
I mean?
watched the game when I've gone to Fenway. It's just people watching.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, that's part of it too, but it's like Polar Park became that very quick because they started having these college nights every week. So if you're a college student and you show an ID, it's like $5 to get in or something like that.
Student?
Are you kidding?
Pain in the ass.
Like
And
that.
50-cent beer.
Right. And then you get a voucher for food or something. So
beer's still $30.
And that's a big part of the crowd there.
Yeah.
Like party people that want to be seen, a lot of Instagram, influencer people taking selfies with the field behind them or whatever.
Never mind. He's like, edit.
We gotta cut that out.
Who's that? Did I know her?
She's fucking, edit.
Hold on. What time is it's the an hour in, whatever.
Yeah, we're fine.
I'll forget.
The Plymouth is called the Plymouth Street Playground. And check this out. One of the people I work with, one of the clients I work with, are all those credit unions above it. So we were looking for places to put that. And when they presented that to us, I'm like, holy shit, this is perfect. There's a playground for the kids. You can still see the game. There's beer and concessions. And if you look at where they're building that parking garage, that's a main beltway into the park now.
Yep.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Yes, Josh, we edited that. You don't have to keep editing. Hold on. Don't edit. Use the racist cock.
Oh my God.
That's a story for off the podcast, Mike.
Okay. I'm not even sure I want to know.
They're just fucking giggling schoolgirls at this point.
Oh my God. That one hit me late.
Sorry. Quack.
But yeah, I would love to get out to Polar Park with the wife and the baby, but it's just been 90 and humid every day. I don't want to be outside.
Yeah. Very uncomfortable.
It's gonna break. It's gonna break. They've got about
this weekend it's gonna be nice.
Yep, they only have like 14 or so more, 15 or so more. They have a shorter season than the Red Sox, but definitely get out there. It's awesome. Mike knows he lives there.
I lived there a couple weekends ago. I basically lived there. They had a doubleheader on Friday.
We should do a podcast from there.
And so we probably could. I could probably get a room somewhere. If not a room, we could just set up on a table.
Go into is the Pike studio used every single day?
It's not finished yet.
Got it.
But
they're still doing some pieces.
They just set it's going to be we're going to share this diner from I think the early 1900s that they moved the whole thing up on top of where that rear entrance is, not the burn one, but the other one. I forget what street that is, Gold Street, I think. And they put it on top of that hill there. And
that's going to be the studio?
That's going to be the studio and the Red Sox Foundation headquarters or whatever. And so I don't know if I'm going to have a lot to do with it because I'm in the morning. Nobody's there. I mean, even though I would gladly go out there every morning.
You probably could do things from like if you look at, and I would imagine they would emulate because Lucchino's involved. If you look at things like the Jimmy Fund, Jimmy Fund, the past 2 days on EEI it starts at 6. So Greg Hill did his show. You'll get into it. It won't be all the time, but they'll absolutely do shit with your show.
So, but it's going to be nice because we'll have access hopefully to players and people like that, and there'll be points when you even if you
go out and let's get Carrie to go out and do a show in the afternoon, and you can pop in and do a little sidekick action there, which is good. And Chuck's doing midday, so I think that's fucking awesome, and in just a really good. Not that Boston was bad. Boston did it right, but you got all sorts of access. And Goodell's got.
Oh, he already has. He gave me some sweet seats. I was 7 rows behind home plate. It was perfect.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's the game I took Francoise and Chloe to. Because I said, okay, Francoise hadn't been yet. I'm like, and she said she wanted to go. I'm like, okay, well, I got these seats. This will be a nice, because she's not into baseball. So,
but if you're close and you can see
there were nice seats, and it's a nice place to walk around in and stuff. But that weekend I started with a doubleheader on Friday, and my wife invited 5 of her friends over.
Oh, awesome!
And she's like, "Hey, so and so are coming over. Are you gonna stay?" I'm like, "Nope." And I went, just drove up the street and caught a doubleheader, and then the next day brought her and Chloe back. It was awesome. I wish I could go to every single game. It's just such a great
you're close
time.
enough. And listen, you know how it goes. shake the hands of the right people by the right doors, and they'll be like, "Hey, shoo!"
Oh,
I used
yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
I used to do that at the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom when I was working up at WHEB because I would host a bunch of the shows. But it was just about making sure the people at the key doors
Right.
knew who BC was or whatever the fuck. And
or you
I
do
was in
like me at the Garden. You don't know like the people working there, but you know what doors and when they open. I'll get in the premium section in 2 seconds.
Act like you belong.
I'll get in the game. I know how to get in the game. We should edit that one out too. I don't want them.
Yeah, that's true. You'll have no access to anything.
Just carry a ladder and you can get in.
Put Josh Dolan's picture up. Keep this kid out.
I'm leaving that one in.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
All right, so it's official. We're all going to be at Support the Superman Golf Tournament Thursday, September 9th.
Right. The disc golf tournament, right?
I got to bring a Frisbee shit.
A Frisbee. They're called discs. Okay.
Can you bring one? Can you bring it?
My bag is always in my car.
Ball bag or weed bag?
Yes.
Did you like the little bag I sent you in the mail?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Weed money.
What did you do with that?
I put my weed in it, actually.
Isaiah's sending you drugs through the
No, just things to hold my drugs.
Dude, we were fucking just some stupid trinket store somewhere, and it literally is a tiny little old school
it's a coin
zip bag that
Yeah.
says weed money.
Weed money. I wish you could pay for weed with change. That would be amazing.
I put a nickel and a dime in there. Josh doesn't understand nickel and dime bag. Try to keep up. And then Mike's fucking takes a picture, sliding $100 bill out, trying to catch me off guard, going, "Dude, you're so nice. You're sending me $100. You're a great friend." And I'm like, was that fucked up? Did I give him $100?
Oh no!
So it's fucking weed money on it, right? Jesus Christ! You think I'm put like $2 in there? Fuck that.
Isaiah was like, "How drunk was I when I mailed that?"
Right? I wasn't high. I had way too many Sammy Adams. Whoopsie.
And a few Nipsey Russells. So
no, how dare you? I would never. You had like 13 yesterday.
I'm just trying to be healthy.
Racist cock. You gonna put that in? You gonna leave that one in?
I'll leave that in there. I don't care.
He was fucking walking and drinking yesterday. It was epic.
Walking with the baby in the stroller?
Oh no.
Oh no, holding.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's holding.
Yeah. Because you can't drink and drive. So
had her in the front pack.
One more of those, I get a free coffee.
Nice.
Oh.
Do you have like one of those things where the child it looks like you're going tandem skydiving, or do you have the papoose that's like it looks like you're carrying supplies and a blanket into the Civil War? You know what I'm talking about?
The wrap.
You have like the backpack one that you wear on the front, and the baby's legs and arms kind of hang out, and you just kind of turn, and it looks like like it's like a rag doll, and then you forget the baby's there, and you're eating something, and it's like dripping on their head, and
bending over. Yes,
is that the one you have?
Yeah, the backpack one.
Okay, so you don't have the one that's like one like sheet, and you slip the baby in there like a kangaroo, and
we have that one. My wife likes that one. I don't like it. This is the
why?
one I have.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that picture.
You're in fucking Lowe's.
You're in Lowe's. You're loading lumber. The guy's like, "What the hell are you doing? Your baby." You're like, "Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Whoops."
And then they scanned it, and I was like, "I can't afford this. Bye."
Jesus Christ.
Well, you got to get a rewards card. The babies are a lot cheaper that way.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh my fucking God!
All right, so we're going to be at Support the Superman Golf Tournament, and it's official. We're going to be live at the Worcester Sox, the Worcester Railers, and
we can do a bunch of shit. Let's get out there and do some live shit. Like I said, bring the roadcaster mic to the Superman.
The Railers. Those guys are great. You know, they helped me with that whole stupid, Islanders bet and everything. And
they painted you.
Yeah, Cam and Mike Myers. Yeah, Mike Myers, the guy. He's the COO, or I think I always get that wrong. But
yeah, we got to get Turcotte on the show.
Yeah, they were.
Oh no,
they were having trouble signing him up again.
Oh,
one of the most exciting players I've ever seen on the ice. I mean, this guy. What's another player that was actually a good player but scrapped? Still.
Oh God.
From the Railers or from the Bruins?
From anybody. Cam Neely comes to
I
mind.
was going to say Cam. He's a power forward, so yeah,
and
Cam Neely.
All right. Would Terry O'Reilly?
Would
Terry O'Reilly be in that category?
Yes. I was trying to think of someone current.
Lucic. Not just a goon, but somebody who could also like take people down.
Yeah, right. Luch.
Yeah, so that's Yannick Turcotte from the Railers. Every time that man got on the ice, the game became more exciting. Nice. They could have been. I remember. I don't know if you were there, but they were down by 9. It was like 10-1. It was awful, and we're getting to the last like 5 minutes of the third period, and Turcotte goes out there like I think it was 2 or 3 guys and took them all down at once. Like he just skated into like 2 or 3 guys. There was a bunch of guys, and he just punched one and pushed the other one at the same time, and they all went down on the ice. And then he stood there and waited.
Yeah, he flies out there. He's got that like he has that like look in his face where he's like he's flying around, and I'm like, someone's gonna get it.
Yeah, he's like insane. I remember the one time he went up and he just went into the visitors bench. Nice. He went into the visitors, like he skated up to it and went, and you saw his skates go in the air, and then came back down, and then he backed up and went like that.
Kill you.
And they all stood there, and they were like, "What do we do?
Is this the 80s?
Right? What the hell do we do now?" You know, the guy's and he's a good player though too. He's super fast. You know, he's just that's a rare combination. So they were having trouble signing him back up.
I would say
I'm surprised he's not like somewhere else, like AHL or something.
I know.
I would say that's definitely a Cam Neely style player. That
the Bruins could use that right now.
Oopsie.
Anyway, they're still trying to go for small and fast.
Well, there's no fighting anymore, right?
No, there is. It's just not on the Bruins, you know.
Right.
Just the teams that are big and play the way the Big Bad Bruins did, or the 2011 Bruins did, win cups. Hi, Tampa.
You're right.
All right, man. Well, not next Thursday, but the Thursday after. That's the golf tournament, right?
Yes, it's Thursday, September 9th at Brook Meadow Country Club in Canton, Mass. All the details are at supportthesoupman.org. You can learn about the whole operation, and you can learn about the golf tournament. Josh, again, thank you for all the connections. Jackie Flynn, Andrew Raycroft, Mickey Ward, one of the 755,226 Wahlbergs will be there, and it's all good, man. Yeah. The whole support the Soup Man operation is to literally help the homeless in New England. So it's a really good cause.
And if you can name all the Wahlbergs, like Matt Damon naming his brothers in Good Will Hunting, you get a free car, I think, right?
I think you get a sleeve of balls. Yeah.
Oh, right. The free car is for a hole in one.
Yes, there's definitely a Ford Bronco from Greco Ford.
Not going to get it. They're still in China.
Oh,
yeah, that's true. They're on a boat somewhere waiting offshore. Yeah,
they're in the Panama Canal. Anyway, all right. Well, it was good talking to you guys. Next week, we'll do something. All right.
All right. That sounds like a plan. Thanks.
That's a great plan, Josh.
Yeah. Right, see ya.